On this episode of China Uncensored, foods you must try if you visit China. Hi, welcome to China Uncensored. I'm your host, Chris Chappell. There's a saying, the Chinese eat everything with four legs except tables, and everything that flies except airplanes. Though I'm pretty sure helicopters are also not on the menu. China is a beautiful land with some of the best food in the world. Well, that is except when the land is horribly polluted and you find yourself with a plate of glow-in-the-dark pork. But we've talked about all that stuff before. Today, I want to focus on something good. I'm giving you my list of authentic Chinese food you must try if you go to China. And these are going to be safe for you less adventurous eaters out there. I'm not going to send you off to have dog hot pot. China's big, so the food is really different from place to place. These aren't things you can get in just any Chinese restaurant in the United States. So, are you hungry? Here we go. Number 7, General Tso's chicken. Oh, just kidding. General Tso's chicken is not authentic Chinese food. It was actually first made in New York City. It's actually the opposite of KFC. General Tso's chicken is named after a real Chinese general who didn't make chicken. Colonel Sanders is a fake colonel who did make the chicken. Okay, so the real number 7, Chongqing La Ji. This is a specialty chicken dish from Chongqing and trademark of Sichuan cuisine because it's spicy. Sichuan food isn't just spicy. They have several different kinds of spicy, often all in the same dish. So Chongqing La Ji isn't just hot, it's also numbing spicy. And it's all because of this little guy, the Sichuan peppercorn. It's tiny but packs a wallop. Pro tip, if you see these in your food, don't actually eat them, okay? And don't eat the chili peppers either, unless you're really hardcore. Number 6, Lanzhou La Mian. These are the best noodles you will ever have. People hand pull one piece of dough over and over again to make these noodles. Lanzhou is most famous for its beef noodles, but you can get them in all different ways. Because Lanzhou is in western China, there's a lot of Chinese Islamic cuisine, and the cumin-crusted lamb noodles will blow your mind. For a slight variation, you can get Daoxiao Mian, which means you'll get a nice, thickly sliced noodle. This is how I prefer it. Apparently, they've even built robots to do it. Number 5, shark fin soup. Number 5, yangrou chuar. These lamb skewers are everywhere in China, and the character for chuar actually looks like a skewer of meat. You might be getting the idea right now that the Chinese are not big on vegetarianism. Number 4, Xinjiang dapanji. That literally means a big plate of chicken. It's kind of chicken stew popular with the Uyghur Muslims in Xinjiang. Now, just a warning, a lot of times when you get meat in China, it will be bone-in, so be prepared for it. Also, everything is usually already cut up into bite-sized bits, so they're easy to handle with chopsticks. Start practicing. Number 3, Tibetan momos. This is basically the Tibetan dumpling. Since Tibet is a harsh mountainous region, not a lot grows there, so the people eat a lot of meat. That's one of the reasons why Tibetan Buddhists aren't vegetarian. Yak or water buffalo is pretty typical. The best momos are usually juicy because Tibetans prefer using fatty meat. Actually, one thing I've learned is that all throughout China, they're believers in leaving fat on the meat because fat is flavor. Why is it that we in the US always try to cut fat out of our diet and yet we're the ones with an obesity epidemic? Number 2, Songshu Guiyu. That means squirrel-like mandarin fish. Now, this is the only thing on this list I haven't actually tried, but it's legendary. It's called squirrel-like because apparently that kind of is the shape of a squirrel, but also because when they pour the sizzling sweet and sour sauce over the deep-fried fish, it squeaks, just like a squirrel. And now, number 1, Dongpo Ro. This is my favorite dish. It's just a nice fatty piece of pork belly stewed in soy sauce. It's named after the Song Dynasty poet and foodie Su Shi. No one really knows why, but legend has it that after he was banished to the south for writing poetry critical of the emperor, he invented the dish. Since he lived on a farm called Eastern Slope or Dongpo, he uses it as a literary pseudonym, so you may have heard of him as Su Dongpo, and the dish has been associated with him ever since. But now, here's something you've probably never thought about. What do they eat for breakfast in China? It sure ain't cornflakes. Usually it's warm, savory dishes like noodles or dumplings, so be prepared for that. Besides dim sum, here are a few things you might want to look for. Jianbing, that's basically an egg pancake or crepe. You'll also see a ton of tea eggs that have basically been steeped in tea and soy sauce. Now if you see one of these, be careful. These are called youtiaos or oil sticks. They are not like donuts. They aren't sweet, just very oily. They're pretty good in their own right, but not when you're expecting a donut. Then there's tofu now, a gelled tofu that can be either savory or served cold and sweet. But the most important breakfast dish you need to know about is congee, a rice gruel that is very nutritious and healthy. The rice is basically cooked until it breaks down into a thick porridge. It can be served plain or with veggies, eggs, or meat. One thing that did not make my list was Peking duck, just because I assume most of you have already heard of it and would know that if you're in China, you should eat some Peking duck. There are also other fantastic snacks you'll see all around China that you should try, like tanghulu, candied hawthorn fruits, and Beijing makes an excellent yogurt drink called suannai. Now, this list was by no means comprehensive. There's a lot of great food out there for you to discover and experience yourself, but I just wanted to give you a place to start. Oh, and one more thing. Even the fast food chains have a different menu, so give Pizza Hut's hot dog stuffed crust tempura, shrimp, and mayonnaise pie a try. Tell me how it is. What's that?
Delivery.
Why, if it isn't a plate of dong po ro, made by my friends over at Food Ease TV. Clever name, huh? If you follow this link, they'll teach you how to make your very own plate of dong po ro. And believe me, you're gonna want to. So, what's your favorite Chinese dish? Leave your comments below, or you can follow me on the Facebook and Twitter page. Once again, a big thank you to my friends at Food Ease TV. Check out their channel, they'll teach you how to make some delicious dishes. Thanks for watching this episode of China Uncensored. I'm Chris Chapo. See you next time.